Hello and welcome back to another video. Today, we are clearly not in the studio, and that is for an exciting reason. We are visiting a very popular coffee supplier in Toronto, Canada, Mello Coffee. They have 2 storefronts in Toronto, but they also wholesale to hundreds of cafes and restaurants countrywide. Today, I'll be meeting with one of their co-founders to dig a little bit more into what makes Mello so popular and so special in the Toronto coffee scene. All right, so I'm here with one of the co-founders of Mello Coffee, Felix Cha. Felix, thank you very much for having us.
Thank you, Matt.
So Felix is one of the co-founders of Mello Coffee, and if you keep your finger on the pulse of specialty coffee, you might actually be familiar with his face or the name. I'm gonna put up a few of his accolades on the screen because it is a quite long list. And actually, I think some congratulations are in order. Congratulations on your 3rd place at this year's Cup Tasters Championship.
Thank you.
But with all those accolades, I think it's interesting to kind of go back to the start. So how did you get into specialty coffee or coffee in general?
So I think it was back in 2008, back in Melbourne, Australia. That's where so as soon as I finished my high school, my very first job was at a coffee shop. It was one of the busiest coffee shops in Melbourne, inside a station called Flinders Station. So because it was my first job, I started working as a cashier. I didn't want to lose my job at the time, so I was asking some, like stupid questions like what is espresso, how to do latte art. And this person, he's my mentor right now. His name is Tony. So he's starting to, like teach me how to do latte art, how to pull espresso shots, how to taste coffee, and that's how everything started.
So did you drink coffee before starting that job, or was this kind of the first time?
No, not really. My coffee, so it was hot water with honey with a little bit of instant coffee. That was like my coffee. It was like honey coffee.
So how did you get from the point of working in a coffee shop then to where we are now, owning your own coffee business?
So since then, like the more I learn about coffee, the more interesting it gets, right? Coffee is something that, even though it's same coffee, it tastes different every day. Depends on the barista, it tastes different. That makes, coffee very exciting for me.
Right.
So since then, just coffee was everything. Like my whole life was just all about coffee.
So why did you want to start your own business? Did you want kind of more freedom to do what you wanted?
I never had an interest in opening a coffee business. I was more into working as a barista or a coffee roaster. But it was actually my brother who, he studied commerce and law, so he was more into business kind of stuff. Okay. So he always wanted to, like, Felix, we should open up a coffee shop or a roastery because you're into coffee. I want to learn, I want to run a business, so why not?
Absolutely. If you have a passion, then a business is the next step. So you found your passion for coffee in Melbourne, and now we are sitting in Toronto, Canada. Why did you choose Toronto as the place to open that first cafe and that first roastery?
Simple. My parents were living in Toronto, right?
Okay.
So I came to visit my parents. At that time, there was not really a lot of specialty coffees going on at that time. Right. There was more like big chains such as like Starbucks, Timothy, Second Cup. So I was like, I think I can do better than these guys, So
that's fair. Yeah.
Why not open a coffee shop in Toronto? And that's how everything started.
I like the confidence.
Yeah.
So you've been operating in Toronto for now quite a long time. How would you describe the coffee culture in Toronto now versus when you moved here?
When I first moved here, there was almost no specialty coffee. There are few specialty coffee cafes at that time. There were not many coffee roasters also. It's been over 9 years now since I moved here, but the market went like this. It wasn't like this. I don't know, like 5 years ago, a lot of specialty coffee shops were popping up in Toronto, in Canada. Like a lot of coffee roasters popped up. So it's growing really fast, I think.
Okay. And you guys have done quite a lot of work, kind of a lot of events and trying to engage the Toronto audience. Can you just share some of the things that you guys have done?
So we participated a lot of in coffee competitions, such as like a barista competition, cup tasters, brewers. Our head roaster, she judged in barista competitions as well. We also did a lot of public coffee cuppings for the education purpose. Latte art competition for the baristas. We try our best, like be involved in the community and try to grow this coffee culture in Toronto.
Absolutely. I mean, that's such an important part of coffee as a whole is, people meet for coffee every single day and you can also meet people through coffee. So being a part of a good coffee culture in Toronto is important, location is important, but at the end of the day, it's about good coffee. Can you maybe share with us how you go about sourcing new coffees or finding exciting things and bringing in good quality?
For us, what we focus in coffee is on consumer side. Like coffee, everyone has different palate, everyone has different taste. If I like fruity, exotic Ethiopian coffee, but some customer may not like it, right? So our focus is always on what customers will like. When it comes to that, it always has been a sweetness in coffee. So if there's a sweetness in coffee, then it's a good coffee for us.
When it comes to sourcing coffee then, an equally big part of the conversation now is transparency and fair pay and all of these things. So how does DeMello approach that and how does it communicate that then to its customers?
Coffee is accessible for everyone. It's easy to, anywhere you go, you can access a coffee. You can drink coffee anywhere. But for us as DeMello, what we want customers to understand is that they know what they're drinking. Meaning where the coffee came from, who produced it, how much did the farmers get paid for producing those coffees, how much does it cost to actually transport that coffee to Canada. So I want to be very transparent with that. Customers can find all our coffee pricings on our website. So if they just go to our website, any coffee you choose, you should be able to see all the pricing breakdowns. If they click, they should be able to read more about what it is, like green coffee, sea market, fair trade, all that kind of stuff.
So you have a good location here in Toronto, you're sourcing very good coffee. So the final missing puzzle piece is what is here in Concord, which is roasting. How heavily involved are you in the roasting, or are you leaving it primarily up to another team of people? Who are the key players?
I don't roast coffee anymore, okay. But I do taste coffee with the head coffee roaster, all the batches that she roasted, or any green coffee sample they receive, or any coffee that we brought it in. When we create a new roast profile, I'm always involved in the tasting coffees.
I mean, Jamie's got a quite long list of awards as well. Can you tell us a bit about Jamie?
So Jamie, she's one of our older staff in DeMello. She's been with us almost 9 years. She's been always roasting coffee for us. She's just great.
Does DeMello Coffee have a particular flavor profile, or are you really just treating each and every coffee individually?
But again, our main focus is sweetness.
Okay.
So, without sweetness, there's no balance. For example, like if you have a lemon, if you bite, it's very acidic, right? But if there's sweetness in there, it's well balanced. So you can eat lemons, right? So when we roast coffee, although we focus on flavors, but we want to make sure that there's a sweetness, so there's a balance. So when you drink coffee, you don't feel too acidic, you don't taste too bitter, that kind of stuff.
Well, it's clearly working. Everyone who I've talked to, when I said I'm coming to DeMello, everyone I've talked to in Toronto knows you, which shocked me, and everyone says, "Oh, that's really good coffee."
Thank you. It's Jamie's magic.
There you go. There you go. So how long does it take from when you get a new variety of green bean in to having a roast that you're happy with in a package available to be purchased?
Takes about, I'll say, 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
Takes about 1 or 2 months, around 3 months nowadays, to get the coffee imported to our warehouse. Takes about 2 to 3 weeks to actually roast, get a profile, taste, approve, package, and go.
Then I have to ask, what kind of equipment are you using kind of in your cupping area to cup and taste and really dial in those coffees?
We have, cuppings, bowls and spoons. We have a grinder. We also have an espresso machine, a brew machine that we can actually taste. When you do cupping, you're not gonna taste what you taste at the cuppings when you actually use it as an espresso machine or brew machine, right? Yeah. It tastes different. So we have all the different bunch of machines that we taste different stuff.
I know it's like asking you to pick a favorite child, but of the current DeMello offerings, is there something that is your favorite right now?
Right now, Sakura, which is our spring seasonal blend. It's one of my favorite right now. It's very sweet, delicate, but it's gentle. It's like tickles in your mouth.
Yeah, you guys were kind enough to give me one of every one of your coffees before I came, and I tasted them, and yet it's a very good spring mix.
It works both on the water-based or milk-based drinks. Yeah.
I can't say I pulled it as espresso, so now I have to go home and do that as well. So you guys have your OG DeMello, so those offerings generally stay quite fixed, right? And then you do monthly features. How much do those rotate through?
So we have OG DeMello that stays for the whole year, where Butterfly Kiss, which is a blend for Ethiopian coffees that changes throughout the year, but the flavor profile usually stays there. But then we have a single origin coffees, depends on the season. It changes throughout every 3 to 4 months. Right now we have a coffee from Colombia, Honduras coming in, Costa Rican coffee is about to come in. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Felix. It's been
Thank you, Matt.
Really interesting to look around here and hear more about how you got into coffee and to hear about DeMello, which is such a big name in Toronto right now.
Thank you.
If people want to try your coffee, how can they do that?
They can visit our cafes or our wholesale clients, or just go to www.hellodemello.com. Just scroll down and pick your favorite coffee, and we'll ship it out to you.
Okay, I will obviously have their storefront, their online storefront linked down in the description below if you want to check out their coffee. And if you enjoyed this roastery tour, please let me know. Leave a like, hit that subscribe button if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.
Thank you.